They're trying to learn what like this is all about. This guy has really good videos on like tech stuff, Fireship, and he explains really well. All right, let's see what Web3 is all about.
Beginning, God created Web 1.0. It was an information superhighway of documents connected together by hyperlinks, and it was good. Around 2004, we saw the emergence of Web 2.0, where more people started participating in the web through platforms like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and many others.
That's where we're going.
It led to massive centralized tech corporations that dominate the flow of information and money on the internet. We live in interesting times because we're at the tipping point of Web 3.0, a decentralized but secure internet where people can exchange money and information.
Wait, secure? Is it secure?
Without the need for an unnecessary middleman like a bank or tech corporation. Today's video is a complete introduction into the wild world of Web 3.0. As an experienced developer, it's humbling to get into because it makes you feel like you know nothing again. Is Web 3 all hype, and should I even bother getting into it? I would say yes to both. There's obviously a ton of hype around Web 3, but not everybody's buying it. Even Papa Elon said that it sounds like BS just a few days ago.
Also, let me sim for a second, suggest that Web 3 might still have 2010 like returns, but most VCs will miss it. Elon said Web3 sounds like BS. Oh shit.
I love the vision of putting the web back in the hands of the people, but the reality is that many of these companies are controlled by vulture capitalists and Silicon Valley insiders. True. And there are smart people out there making a very good argument about how Web3 doesn't have the computing power.
Let's see. Yet when those of us who are in the chips, bits, and packets business look into alleged engineering details, there's always either complete hand-wavy woo-woo or dreams over leverage on perpetually over-the-horizon blockchain tech searching for tomorrow's problem to justify an investment today. Just buy my token today to secure your stake in a better tomorrow. It's the age-old pitch of charlatans and snake oil salesmen. Damn.
Or bandwidth or storage to scale on any practical level. The shills out there will tell you that crypto is growing faster than the internet was in the 90s, but that's a dumb argument. But my next question is, do we even need cryptocurrency to build decentralized apps? I built a decentralized app on this channel just a few months ago with Gun.js. It uses cryptography and web technologies and has no requirement for blockchain technology at all. Decentralized tech has been around forever, like peer-to-peer file sharing with Napster back in the 90s, or BitTorrent, which has 100 million monthly active users. That being said, cryptocurrency is still kind of essential because you need some form of payment to build up a creator economy, and banks are not an acceptable solution there. It also provides the incentive for people to provide
that's why I started reading more about NFT and Web3 and stuff, because I heard like it could be really cool for the creator economy.
Computing infrastructure that make the whole thing possible. Speaking of which, how does a decentralized app or dApp on the blockchain work? Let's use the Ethereum blockchain as our example. Although there are many alternatives with different trade-offs out there. Ethereum is like a giant network of computers where all the participants agree on the same state of the data throughout the network. Now, Ether is the cryptocurrency on the Ethereum network, which is used to create transactions that change the state of the data. When you broadcast
one in the chat if you got Ethereum in your wallets right now.
Transaction, you also offer up a small amount of Ether, which provides incentive for another computer in the network to execute the transaction. This is also called a gas fee, and conceptually.
So are those, okay, so basically when you buy something with Ethereum, there's a transaction fee, like which is called a gas fee. And this process of transaction is executed by another computer on the network. Does that other computer know that it's executing this transaction?
Actually, it's similar to paying AWS for cloud computing resources. Normally, when you build a web application, you write some backend code, then deploy it to a centralized server like AWS. For a decentralized app on the blockchain, your backend code is contained in a smart contract, usually written in the Solidity language, which is just an application that lives on the blockchain.
Okay. So he's saying the traditional backend is deployed
like
on
AWS. For a
server?
Decentralized app on the blockchain, your backend code is contained in a smart contract.
And for the blockchain app, the code is contained in a smart contract.
Usually written in the Solidity language, which is just an application that lives on the blockchain that can govern the behavior between multiple accounts.
Okay, so the smart contract is usually written in Selenium, and it can govern the application, I guess.
Decentralized app also needs to have a front end, which can be built just like a normal website, except for the fact that user authentication works in a completely different way.
The smart contract is a piece of code that lives on the blockchain. It says the difference in authentication, instead of logging in, right? It's with the wallet.
Developer to collect a username and password. The end user has a public wallet address that can
the end user, so okay, me as a user, I have a wallet address.
Receive payments, and a private key that can sign transactions.
And I use a private key to sign like every transaction I make.
Your front-end application, like a React app, for example, can then interact with that user's wallet to do something interesting.
Okay, so if I have a website and I have a front end, I can, I guess, interact with this MetaMask plugin, maybe through like API. And this MetaMask plugin is the one that has the wallet of the user. Private key is sort of your password. Wallet public address that allows him to read the data of that address. I don't see where the gas fee goes. Like, does someone profit off of that? Yeah, that's what I was trying to understand. Like, he said the gas fee is paid by someone else on the network. Like, does that person like know? I guess he the gas fee does go to someone, right? It can't just go to nowhere. The miners. Oh, gas fee goes to miners. Okay, that makes sense. Gas fee for people actually running the nodes. So how do you run a node? Like, is that an application? Like you run the blockchain? How does that work? Part of the gas is burned in Ethereum. The gas fee goes to the miners or it's being burnt. Like, burnt means it just disappears?
But what is an NFT? Well, actually, what is a token? A token is just a digital asset. We already looked at one example in this video, Ether, the currency of Ethereum. It's a digital asset that you can trade with other people. But the cool thing is that developers can create their own tokens in the form of smart contracts. It's basically just a number in a smart contract.
What is he saying? He's saying it's basically a number in the smart contract. So the token you're creating, right? The coin is a number in the smart contract. I think. To
a wallet address. In fact, if I wanted to create my own cryptocurrency, I could do so by writing a smart contract that gives myself an initial balance of 1 quadrillion tokens, which I can then sell to you for $1.
Hey, should we do that, chat?
In this example, we've created a fungible token, which means that one token is always the same value as another token of the same size. One coin is always worth the exact same as another coin.
That's why I think this is interesting. Like, I have a lot of questions, but you know, there's a lot of stuff to know about this. I wish I had a class on this at school, but unfortunately, they teach shit from like 20 years ago. I don't know, crypto seems interesting, but it also has a risk of scams. Yeah, I think you can like pick and choose, right, to stay away from the scams. Like, I'm just interested in learning what this is about, because I do feel like this is part of the future, right? So I want to make sure I'm not left behind. You know, it's kind of like in the past when the internet arrives, you don't want to be the person not knowing what the internet is. I'm not saying this is like the new internet, but I guess if you really believe in a blockchain, a specific coin, you need to go you should probably read the smart contract, right? To make sure that this is legit. Because there could be somewhere in the smart contract, the code, it's hidden that, oh, you know, if 100 million people buy this, then suddenly activates a function that pulls out all the money. Think of the blockchain as a fancy linked list that you can append data to, nothing else. Oh, that's kind of interesting. So that's a huge linked list. Blockchain is so secure that no one can change it, and it's P2P, so both parties are agreed. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's secure because it's peer-to-peer. For one person to make a huge change on the smart contract, every other node has to agree with it, right? I think that's how it works. And it's like, if there's like millions of people, it's impossible for them to all agree. You know, if you're trying to make a change, it's not like a pull request. Is it like everyone else has to like click on a button, like confirm pull request? I'm lost. Hey, settle. I'm lost too, man. I'm trying to understand what this is. The chain is replicated in a lot of different machines. You would have to hack or edit more than 50%. Okay, more than 50%. It's literally a huge linked list that everyone can validate, which is why I think it scales fuck all. Okay, so if it's a linked list, what are the nodes? What are the nodes of this blockchain linked list? Isn't that super slow though? Like, a linked list is O of n to traverse. You have to traverse one by one each node. Every time you make a change, you have to traverse the whole shit? What if there's like a million nodes? Like millions of nodes. Okay, let's
present assets that are not exactly alike, like baseball cards, real estate, digital artwork, and stuff like that. These are examples of non-fungible tokens. Each token is unique and represents a different item, which means that its actual market value might be different when you go.
I mean, it says each token is unique and represents a different item, right? But it could be the same item, no? It could be literally the same picture. This specific NFT, like that picture, it could be the same picture. Okay, imagine everyone in the world uses this. Imagine 7 billion nodes linked lists.
Now I want to switch gears and talk about technology. What does the front end of a Web3 application look like? For the most part, it's not much different than a normal web app. You'll likely use a UI library like React, along with all your other favorite front end tools. Things become different when we start talking about user authentication, because like I mentioned earlier, the end user uses a plugin like MetaMask to make their public wallet details available to a decentralized app. Now the question becomes, how do we as developers connect to MetaMask?
Wait, so he's talking about decentralization and stuff, but this is still on like the normal web, right? Web 2, you use Google Chrome to open this. And basically on the website, let's say OpenSea, they're selling NFTs and whatever. And then there's a wallet that connects to the website. And this is Web 3, like it's just Web 2 plus extra steps.
It's actually really easy because MetaMask creates a global object on the browser window that we can use to access a decentralized app. Now the question, like MetaMask, to make their public wallet details available to a decentralized app. Now the question becomes, how do we as developers connect to MetaMask? Really easy because MetaMask creates a global object on the browser window that we can use to access details about the wallet.
Chat, you want to build a Web 3 website? Dude, I'm actually kind of interested to learn this. This is way more interesting than like, oh, let me learn a new programming language like Java. This is really cool.
And smart contracts on the blockchain. Here's an example of how the process might look. We create a provider with the window Ethereum object, which is used to then create a signer. You can think of that as the current user.
Is it like actually like that bad for the environment? Only like 3% of the world currently uses crypto or something, and each transaction already costs $300 and uses energy of a small neighborhood. Wait, what? Saying cite your sources, dude. Are you serious? Okay, but you're talking about Ethereum or something? Because it's all different. Like the transaction fee of the blockchain's different coins are different, right? You should make an interesting project with blockchain and make a video. Yes, Pody, you're right. I do want to do that actually. But I would have to learn about blockchain more than now because I'm kind of new to this. I want a 5% stake in Pancoin. All right, man. Chat, we're making the Pancoin. We all make money together.
But what does the backend look like in a Web3 application? Well, it's probably a lot different than what you're used to as an old-timey web developer. Instead of a server and database like PHP...
Wait a second. Does this mean that backend devs are going to they're going to have less jobs? Like if Web3 becomes like the thing in the future, right? Then everything backend is going to be built on the blockchain. And they're going to be using this new backend instead of the usual Java, whatever language you use. That's one thing to think about. Still gonna be backend, it's just gonna be coded differently. Well, I don't know. Is there REST API on this blockchain thing? Let's find out.
PHP and MySQL, you'll be writing smart contracts. There are frameworks out there designed to streamline development. Two of the most popular options are Hardhat and Truffle. When you add them to your project, they'll give you a place to write a smart contract in the Solidity programming language. Now, you might be wondering, how do I test this code before I deploy it? Because I have no idea if this thing actually works. That's another thing that Hardhat and Truffle can help you out with. They can create a testing network on localhost, then generate a bunch of wallet addresses loaded up with fake crypto that you can use for testing. In the browser, you can connect MetaMask to your testing network instead of operating on the actual Ethereum network. But one more stupid question you might have is, do I store all my data in the blockchain? The answer is no. It's not efficient or necessary to store everything in the blockchain. And that's where off-chain storage comes in. In some cases, data might be too large to store on the blockchain, or it might need to be modified or deleted.
Wait, so he's saying it's possible to store data on the blockchain, but you don't have to, right?
Not possible in a blockchain where all the data is read-only. The most common solution is the interplanetary file system,
Holy
or
shit,
IP.
These are some new, in the previous video, or someone was saying, as a software engineer, when you start learning about this stuff, it feels like you know nothing, and really, that is the case. What are all this
DFS?
New
It's
stuff?
a decentralized way to share files, very similar to the way BitTorrent works. If you've made it this far in the video, you might be thinking Web3 looks awesome, but how do I get started? I'm working on a full step-by-step tutorial that will be out on the channel soon, so make sure you're subscribed to catch that. The easiest way to start messing around with...
He's making a step-by-step tutorial. I'm already subscribed.
Smart contracts is with the Remix IDE. It's a browser-based tool that will handle all the compilation and everything for you, so you don't have to mess around with any JavaScript. On YouTube, there are a couple of really good channels.
Once that tutorial comes out, let's do it, chat. Let's do it together. I look-y want an internet Twitch, same. I failed their coding test though. I don't think they will replace developers. Even GitHub made a Copilot. Yeah. Well, even if they do replace, it's gonna take a long time. We are safe. I wonder what are the most popular languages used for blockchain. Like obviously Solidity is one of them. And this is a long video. I'm just pausing a lot. I wouldn't learn Solidity now if you're trying to get a job. Yeah, it's not really just to get a job, to be honest. Oh, this is really just for fun, because this is interesting. You know, I don't have that motivation anymore to learn like a new stack just to learn it, right? Because, you know, let's be honest, Java, PHP, you know, Node.js, they all kind of do the same shit, right? So I just, if you want me to build a website, I'll just use what I'm familiar with. If it gets the job done, it gets the job done. But this is a new thing, right? I can't use Java to build, you know, Web3. You're telling me a bunch of geeks are excited about new technology, are promising utopia? I think I've heard about this before and I know the ending. I'm smoking on that copium, dude. This is exciting and I believe in it. How do you guys feel about this?